Hi students, good morning. So my name is Fanindra and I'm lecturer in physics in Vignan institutions. So let us start a new chapter in our first year physics, that is laws of motion. A very important chapter in objective point of view and IPV point of view. So that is laws of motion. So the main contents of this chapter are introduction, law of inertia, and the Newton's three laws, that is Newton's first law, second law, and third law. Conservation of momentum, equilibrium of a particle, and what are the common forces in mechanics, and what is meant by friction. So, what are the motion that causes in friction, and a uniform circular motion, and some problems regarding the Newton's first law on momentum and friction. So, introduction to laws of motion. Newton's laws of motion. In the previous chapters, that is in motion in straight line and motion in strain, that is in kinematics. Basically, mechanics is divided into two parts. As a mechanics, so mechanics is divided into two parts. So one is the kinematics and the dynamics. So in kinematics, that is as we discussed in our previous chapters, that is we have two chapters, that is motion in a straight line and motion in a plane. So these are the previous chapters that we have discussed so far. So in these chapters, that is motion in a straight line and motion in a plane, we have discussed regarding the motion of your body along a straight line and along the plane without knowing its cause. Without knowing the cause of the motion, we have discussed how the body is moving along a straight line and what are the parameters that are we have that are included in the motion of the body along a straight line and along the plane. In these chapters, in these two chapters, we have discussed about motion of the body, motion of body without knowing cause, without knowing cause of the motion. That means, what is the main cause that sets the body into the motion, from rest to motion, from uniform velocity to change in velocity, how the body is moving with a different velocity, or how is body moving with an acceleration, and when a body is thrown upwards. So here in the all the cases we have studied just the motion of the body. So we do not bother about what causes the motion of the body. So in dynamics, that is in this chapter of laws of motion, we will study the cause of the motion. Cause of the motion. So in this chapter, that is in dynamics, that is in Newton's laws of motion, we will study so what is the main causes of this motion and how this cause will affect the motion of the body. To know the cause of the motion and to study the effects of that cause, we have mainly three laws. Newton has suggested three laws: first law, second law, and third law, which we have studied in our earlier classes, in lower classes from 9th to 10th. So in this chapter, we will discuss the what is the cause of the motion, what it be named, and the units, what are the Newton's three laws. From this Newton's three laws, what are the what the Newton has to say about to say with us, and some problems. So before going into Newton's laws, uh, let us study about inertia, the law of inertia. So, the definition for the inertia is, you can see here, the inability of a body to change its state of rest or uniform motion or direction by itself is called inertia, from which it states that a body that cannot change the state of rest, that means if your body is in rest, consider this body is in rest in a horizontal platform, consider a block of mass m, so which is at rest, so it cannot change the state of rest, that means it cannot move itself from the rest to motion. Or if your body is moving, if your body is moving in this direction, so the body continues to move until, or it cannot be stopped until there is an external agency. So, or it cannot change its direction by itself. So, from the laws of motion, from this law of inertia, so it states that inability of a body to change its state of rest, that means from rest to motion or motion to rest or that direction by itself. So, it cannot change its state by itself. Okay, it is called inertia. So, inertia means resistance to change. Resistance to change, which means it opposes the change. Resistance is nothing but opposing. Resistance to change means inertia does not change its state. It opposes the changes in the body, which means a body initially at rest, so it has to be initially at rest condition only. It cannot change itself from rest to motion. Or a body is in motion, continues to be motion. It cannot change its from velocity by itself or from motion to rest by itself. Or a body is moving in a straight line, continues to move in a straight line only. It cannot change its direction by itself because due to inertia. Inertia means resistance to change, which opposes the change of state of the body. So inertia is measured by mass. So mass is measure of inertia. Mass is the measure of inertia. That means heavier body will have heavier inertia or high inertia, and a small body will have low inertia. So inertia can be measured by using mass of the body. So it is very important. So inertia means resistance to change. It opposes the change, the state of the body. Okay. So it cannot change by itself. So types of inertia. So inertia means a resistance to change, which opposes the change of the state. So inertia is of mainly three types. So first one is inertia of rest, and the second one is inertia of motion. The third one is inertia of direction. So these are the three types of inertia: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. As the name suggests, inertia of rest. Inertia means opposes the change. So inertia of rest means it opposes the change of rest. That means a body which is in rest cannot change by itself from rest to motion. Similarly, inertia of motion. So a body is in motion or uniform motion or traveling with a constant velocity It cannot changes its velocity by itself, or it cannot comes to rest by itself. Similarly, inertia of direction. A body moving in a direction cannot changes its direction by itself or opposes the change. Okay, let us see in detail these three types of inertia with some examples. So, first one, inertia of rest. So, the definition is it is the inability of a body to change its state of rest by itself. So, consider a body which is in rest condition. It cannot changes the state of rest, that is state of rest, into motion by itself. It is called inertia. So let us see some examples. When you are traveling in a bus and the bus is stationary initially, so when the bus starts suddenly, you feel that a jerk backwards, you feel like you fell backwards. Similarly, when you are riding in a when you are on a bike, your friend's bike, so when your friend started the bike suddenly and accelerated, then you felt that you will feel backwards. Similarly, when you are riding on a horse also, when the horse starts suddenly, you feel felt backwards. Why this happens? Let us see on the video. So in this video, you can observe that the bus is initially at rest and a passenger is standing on it, and when the bus starts suddenly, he felt backwards. Why this happens? Due to inertia of rest. This happens because inertia of rest. See, when the bus is stationary, the person is also stationary with respect to the bus and with respect to the outside person. But when the bus starts suddenly, his feet which touches to the bus will start moving forward. But the remaining part of the body is continued to be in rest due to inertia. Therefore, he felt when the bus moves suddenly, his feet also moves suddenly forward. Okay, but the remaining body, due to inertia, it should be in rest. It opposes the sudden changes. Inertia opposes the sudden changes. So he felt backwards. He feel like he felt backwards. Okay, let us see some other examples also that can explain the inertia of rest much better. So here are the some examples regarding inertia of rest. Let us see one by one. So the first one, so it is just like a game. So on a glass, on the top of a glass, you put a paper. On that, a coin is placed. Now you can observe that when the paper or the cardboard is flicked, the coin drops into the bottle or the glass. Why this happens? Because initially the coin and the glass and the paper are at rest. When you applied an external agency or some force by flicking the paper suddenly moves. But the coin, due to inertia, is initially at rest. So it opposes the sudden change. So it should be maintained at rest. So it occupies in same place only, so that it falls downwards. Or you can see in this example also a person falling onto a net which has all these leaves. When he falls suddenly, the net, due to this external agency, due to the force, so comes downwards. But the leaves on the net will remain at rest initially. It falls slowly downwards. Why this happens means due to inertia. So by the force the net goes downwards, but on the leaves, due to inertia of rest, they remain at rest. So you can observe here the leaves falls slowly due to inertia. And in that example, when you are trying to with a machine, you are trying to move the tree so that the fruits in the tree falls downwards. Why this happens means when you are moving the tree or when you are shuffling the tree, so the tree will shuffle or moves in such a manner that, but the fruits due to inertia won't move. Due to inertia, it opposes the sudden change, so that the fruits falls downwards. Here are these three examples will explain us much better what is inertia of rest. In these all three examples, inertia means opposes the change. So suddenly some part of the body is in motion, but due to inertia, the other part will be in rest. So the next one is inertia of motion. It is the inability of your body to change its state of uniform motion by itself, which means a body is in motion, continues to be in motion. It does not allow the sudden changes. It does not allow the sudden changes, or a body in motion cannot come to rest by itself, or a body in motion with or moving with a uniform velocity, it cannot be accelerated, or change in velocity cannot be occurred by itself. It opposes that sudden changes. Okay, so before let us see the video so that it can explain better with some examples. Okay, let us see this example. So the passenger is standing and traveling in a bus. When the bus stopped suddenly, he fell forwards. You can see here, when the bus stopped suddenly, he fell forwards. This is due to inertia of motion. Why this happens means, initially bus is in motion, so that the passenger in the bus is also in motion. When the bus stopped suddenly, the feet will stop suddenly, but the remaining body is said to be in motion, so that he fell forwards. Okay, so you can see in this video. So when the traveling bus stopped suddenly, you will feel felt forwards. You can observe in our daily examples also. So when we are traveling in a bus, when the driver stopped the bus suddenly, we feel a jerk, that we feel forwards. Similarly, when we are traveling in a bike, when we stopped the bike suddenly, so we will fall forward. Why this happens? Because due to inertia of motion. So inertia of motion means it opposes the sudden changes in motion. A body in motion should be in motion. It opposes the sudden changes. So let us see some other examples so that we can understand it much better. So from these examples we can understand the inertia of motion. So you can see here in this first video, the passenger is jumped from a moving train. When he jumped from a moving train, so when he is in the train is moving with respect to, therefore the person in the train is also moving with respect to the outside person. When he jumped off the train to the platform, he fell forwards. So we came across these videos also. This type of experience in our daily life, when we are stepping out from a moving bus, we will fall forwards. This is due to inertia of motion, because so from when you are falling or when you are tries to come out of the train or a bus, so initially the bus or the train is in motion. When you step outwards, you have to need to come to rest immediately. So due to inertia, sudden changes, it does not allow the sudden changes in the motion. Therefore, you will fall forwards. And similarly, in this example, so how a person can move long jumps means, when you are traveling much faster or when you are running with some velocity, so that when you have to jump or suddenly steps into the air, so due to inertia of motion which opposes the sudden change, you will go much longer distances because you will fall forwards. So if you want to suddenly stop the motion into rest, you will fall forwards. So with this inertia of the motion only, a longer jumps is also possible. Or you can see in this example also, the last example. So when you are going on a bike and hit it to a wall, you will fall forwards, because when you hit a wall, the velocity of the bike will comes to rest, but the driver or you, the riding the bike, will fall forwards due to inertia of motion. So the third type of inertia is inertia of direction, which means the inability of your body to change its state of its a direction by itself, which means a body that cannot change the direction of the motion by itself, or it opposes the sudden changes. So when we are traveling in the car, when the driver suddenly shifts the car or take a turn, we feel that we fell the sidewards in which the car takes turn. This is due to inertia of direction. So for better explanation, let us see this video. Okay, students, you can see here the example, the traveling bus. So when the bus takes turn, the passenger fell backwards. And consider another example, the string, a metallic ball is attached to string, and when it is cut off, the ball moves in tangential direction. So why this happens is due to inertia of direction. So when the passenger is moving in the bus and the bus is taking a sudden turn, he felt sidewards. This happens because, so initially the passenger and the bus are moving in a straight line. When it is taking a turn, the feet of the passenger will also move with the bus, but the remaining body, which is in motion with respect to the outside or with respect to some other reference point, so is moving in a straight line. But as the bus take the turn suddenly, it opposes that change. So only he felt sideways. And in another example, when a metallic ball is attached to a string and it is moved in a circular path, when the string is cut off, then the metallic ball will move in a tangential direction at which the string cut off. Why this happens means, so the string attached to the metallic ball holds the metallic ball in the circular direction. So whenever it's cut off, the direction of the, or the velocity direction of the particle moving in a circular path is always in tangential. So as the strings cut off, it cannot move in the circular path because, so always the direction of the metallic ball is in tangential path. So it moves in the tangential direction. Okay, so from this, all these examples, I think we can understand what is inertia and what is inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. So simply think that inertia is which opposes the sudden changes or inability of a body to change its state by itself. By itself, it cannot change its state. So this is what inertia. Now let us move to what are the laws of motion that has Newton stated. So let us see Newton's laws of motion. So now let us go to Newton's first law. What the Newton's first law states is, every body continues to be in state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled by some external force or an external agent acting on it. Every body continues to be in state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled by some external agency or the force acting on it, which means similar to the inertia definition only. So in the definition of inertia, we have stated that a body cannot change its state by itself. But from the Newton's first law, it states that a body can change its state of rest or uniform motion until it is accompanied by some external force. Some external force or some external agency is required to keep the body in motion or the moving body to rest. So unless an external force is acting on it, it cannot move or it cannot change its state. So from Newton's first law, we have Newton's first law explained two definitions, what is meant by inertia and what is meant by force. The external agency that required to move the body or to change the state is called force. So in inertia we studied that itself it cannot change. According to first law, itself it cannot change but some external agency, that is called as force, it can change its state. So force is nothing but an external agency which changes or tries to change the state of motion of the body, either from rest to motion or motion to rest or the direction. Okay, so force is a external agency. It is an external agency which changes or tries to change the state of the body. Is called force. An external agency which changes or tries to change. It may change or it may not change the state of the body, that is from rest to motion or motion to rest or the direction, is called force. Okay, so the importance of Newton's first law is it explained two definitions, that is for what is inertia and what is force. So from this part, from the definition of Newton's first law, first part explains that it cannot change its state by itself, but it can change its state by an external agency, that is called force. Okay, so this is Newton's first law. Now before going into Newton's second law, let us define first a physical quantity, an important physical quantity in mechanics, that is momentum or linear momentum, as we are studying in a linear motion of the body. Linear momentum. So the linear momentum is defined as, it is defined as product of mass and its velocity. So linear momentum is defined as product of mass and velocity. So let us consider a body in a horizontal plane or a block whose mass is small m and moving with a velocity v. Then the momentum of the body is given by P is equal to m into v, product of mass and velocity. It is denoted by P. P is equal to m into v. And this momentum, it is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. So P bar, as it is a vector quantity, P bar is equal to, here mass is a scalar and velocity is a vector quantity, so m into v bar. P is equal to m into v for v bar. Therefore the direction of the momentum is in direction of velocity. The direction of the momentum is in the direction of velocity. So let us see what are the units. SI units. SI units of momentum are, here momentum is denoted by mass into velocity. Units for mass is kg and units for velocity is meter per second. So SI units is kg meter per second. Let us also denote what are the CGS unit. CGS units, centimeter gram second. So CGS units is, instead of kg, gram, instead of meters, centimeter per second. So gram centimeters per second are the CGS units. Next, what is the dimensional formula? What is the dimensional formula? Dimensional formula is which is denoted with the fundamental quantities, that is mass, length and time. So kg means mass, m, meter indicates the length, second indicates the time, as the second is denominator t power minus 1. So CGS units are ml t power minus 1. So this is a linear momentum. Now what is the change in momentum? Change in momentum. Change in the momentum of the body. So consider a block of mass m is initially moving with a velocity. Now after a time t seconds, the block of mass m is moving with a velocity v. Its velocity is changed. As the velocity is changed, momentum also changes. Therefore, change in momentum. Change in momentum denoted by delta P is equal to initial momentum minus final momentum. P initial minus P final. Or P final minus P initial. Final momentum minus initial momentum. So that is equal to final momentum is m into v bar minus initial momentum is m into u bar. So that is equal to m into v bar minus u bar is the final or the change in momentum of the body. So the direction of the change in momentum is also in the direction of the momentum, that is in the direction of change in velocity. Okay, so this is the momentum. Momentum or linear momentum is defined as product of mass and velocity. Product of mass and velocity means P is equal to formula, its formula is mathematical formula is P is equal to m into v, and it is a vector quantity. Vector quantity is a physical quantity which has both magnitude and direction. So P bar is equal to m into v bar, whose direction is along the direction of the velocity.